Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get our chill vibe music going on as we cover this disclaimer right here. Pew, 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 pew. All right, man. Welcome back to another episode on the greatest of all traders, the GOAT Media Stream happening right now. Taking a look at Bitcoin on the monthly time frame. We still holding, baby. We still holding. I put out a post on Friday, I believe it was, just, attention bears, attention bears. We continue to hold support. We continue to hold support. So we have our channel formation in here that we've been covering. We have our VWAP here from our first green monthly candle following our 2022 bear market. We have our highs here. Look at how pretty that is. Look at how pretty that is. And you remember when we got this little flaggy situation right here? Look at how pretty that is. That's what we are, baby. That's what we are. That's what we are until we're not. That's where we are. So how I'm feeling? I'm feeling all right. I am feeling all right. And if you're sticking to the standard for your cycle, it's coming to an end soon. Soon and very soon, okay? But right now we're holding. We could just consolidate here. Who knows? Maybe we consolidate up right here. And this is all we get. One thing I do know is something I've shared here over the months is the bear market lows and where it typically comes in at for Bitcoin. Now, one thing I've been adamant about is the highs. Holding the highs has been a big thing for Bitcoin historically. Like I can look at a whole bunch of other stuff. Like we can find anything to fit our narrative. One strong narrative is that Bitcoin has always held the highs as support, like previous resistance flips into support in the bear market during our 1 year 364 365 days of correcting. This is where we've held. And when I take a look at the expansion cloud here, this is something else that we've always held. Like we overshoot right here, just a little bit right here, just a little bit right here. So you can see that little pivot here on the cloud. That's the only time that we ever did that, and look where it is. I mean, this is supposed to be it. So there is a little bit more room for downside in here if we can stick to this plan right here. There's a little bit more room. If we do that, I expect for it to be a wick, and that's it. We do have bullish divergence here also. Um, I know on the weekly time frame we have the bull dips. We did have it on the 4 hour time frame, but we're playing that little push, that little pump right now. Start over the weekend. I am in a long right now, so I've added to my little position. Looking forward to trying to see if we can't reclaim up to about 71,000. Let's see if we can't just get back up to about 71,000. Okay, that doesn't change any narratives in here in terms of structure, but the daily could use a nice relief, and it looked like we could be in the midst of that. So in about see if we can't get up to about 71,000. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. So we've been holding up pretty good over the weekend. But like I said, we're still here. Let's just stroll through here. Let's just take a stroll, a scroll through here. Let's just look at that. Look at that. Where we at? Look at that. Look at that. Tell me when I'm wrong. Look at that. We always hold this. We always hold this. We always hold this. Always. 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 Like I said, except for that little right here, because you shouldn't see an indent. You shouldn't see an indent, and we got an indent right here. Back in 2022, we did get that little indent right there after we got that first drop and bounced. And then we put in this bullish divergence down here. So let me put it on like that. So we got this little indent right here, which was a little different. It was different because every other time you don't get the indent. You have your low and you don't come in and test it. Have your low of your cloud and you don't come in and test it. I'm not gonna even count that little small little $50. Not gonna do that. Ain't gonna take it that serious. But we're here. We're here, baby, and we're holding. We're here. You can see exactly where we pop down to. Exactly where we pop down to, right there at the very tippy of our cloud. The very tippy of our cloud. This is supposed to be it. This is supposed to be it. Historically, it's supposed to be it. Let me put it to you like that. Historically, it's supposed to be it. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we do. Um, Aside from that, the other thing that we've covered here is where the RSI is. Now, for really good confirmation, again, on the reversal, we want to see the RSI above 50. So we're not above 50. And when I look here, well, we can see where 50 would be. So our RSI mean reversion would be at 77,005. We'll just say 77,059. We'll just say that. We'll just round that number up there. So $77,590 is where we should be above. We're not above that right now. So consistently, you can see again when the RSI is above its mean, which is gonna you just follow along with that green line right there. So, and actually, let me just do it. So that's the only one you see is that one. So once we cross above that, you don't take out the lows. We're not above that right now. We're off from it. You can see where we push back into it with our recent pump here. Um, but once you close above it, you don't put in a new low. You don't. Once you close above it, you don't put in a new low. Once you close above it, you don't put in a new low. Doesn't mean that you don't see some sort of a retracement, but you don't put in a new low. Like that's it. That's the end of that situation. Let me do this like this. Yeah. So once you close above it, don't worry about that getting taken out. You look for your entry, your buy entry into those levels. Okay. Once you close above it, that's it. That's all she wrote once you close above it. So we do want to see us get the closure back above our mean. That's another thing that we really want to see here on the monthly time frame. Closure back above our mean. Let me see something because I was just let's see. This is just trying to see if that was the only time. No, okay. I just wanted to see if that was the only time that these two ribbons right here cross, but it's not. So we got this cross right here. Where the slower one needed to cross below the faster one here. And then they flip right there. Let me see over here if we did the same thing. Nope, so they don't cross there. I think that was the only that one along with the 2022, 2020, 2021, 2022. Yeah, this was just 2022. So that one and then the 2022, we did see the ribbons flip quickly and then flip back up right here. So they're welding. They're getting closer together in here. So hopefully we'll just consolidate in here. Continue to hold through VWAP, like I said, which is just your first green monthly candle following the 2022, the end of the 2022 bear market where we put in that bullish divergence there right there. That's it. And then that was it. That was all she wrote, and we was off to the races. Okay. So yeah, looking dapper right now. We looking dapper right now. We holding. We holding. I just find it interesting. The sentiment right now, and then you just look at this. You just look at this, and I don't know, but for me, I love it. I just absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Now, if there's a narrative that's going to, cause a lot more pain, what would I look to next? Because we always want to think about those things as well. I'm feeling pretty bullish right here, but we always want to think about those things. So I'd be looking at right here. And this is where we got the drop down right here. Back in 2024 when we put in this little falling wedge or megaphone pattern right here. When you put it on the candlestick chart, it looks more like a megaphone pattern than a falling wedge. But it's a bear flag. We just call it a bear flag right here. Was somewhere around about this high here. And these are really close together. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this right here instead because they're so close together. Let's just go one step further here instead. Do it like that. Okay. So that's your 47.43. That would be so different. But one thing I have seen with altcoins is a lot of the altcoins, this bear cycle did break the cloud a lot, a lot, a lot. And let me change these because I don't like the way these are not matching. They're not matching. Put on that. There we go. Okay. Make the numbers a little bit smaller. So I would be looking right here. So this is about where those wicks came in right here. Not quite. Yeah, we don't want to be taking that out, right? We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. But let's just consider that to be where we could look at next in that case. Something like this. But right now we're looking pretty decent. Looking pretty decent. Bitcoin. Yeah. We're looking nice. I don't even want to think about this, but I got to think about it. I have to think about it. I don't want to. I don't want to, and I just want to keep looking at this chart right here and feeling good about it. Let me push over to the 15-minute time frame. You can see what we did here over the weekend. Um, so we had our first little sweep in here. Let me see. Yeah, we had not yeah our first little sweep in here, and then you can see the nice reaction that we got in here. So this is when we initially dropped down. Let me see, what was this price point right here? 61,383. So this was actually before we got the scoop of that $60,000 liquidity right here. This is where you can see institutional money actually step in right here. We know that because when we looked at the volume on the 4-hour time frame, it is the largest volume spike that we have. So institutional money did flow in right here. And the reason why we continue to drift a little bit lower at that point, well, number one is Friday. It's Friday. Number two is after that money steps in, you still have to find where your buyers are at. But there was no real strength in the move down following that. So you start back looking for your long positions in here. All right, and this is where we actually do sweep the liquidity. I think it is right here, but let me double check. Let me double check. No, that's 61. Is it here? Yeah, it's here. So this is where we actually do sweep that $60,000 low right here. We get the bounce up, and then we come back down in here. And I think we put in a little bit of bullish divergence right there as well, too. But I know that it was hella bullish on the 4-hour time frame. And then we start to put in another wedging structure in here, and everybody's looking over here like, we did this the last time. We'll probably do it again, and you don't get that. You don't get that. I waited for price action to to squeeze a little bit more in here. And then, of course, you know what I did. You know what I did. I played my Bollinger Strat and took that breakout. Played my Bollinger Strat and took the breakout. And so I'm holding that position right now. And it's been pure hell, to be honest with you. With Bitcoin, it has been pure hell. I ain't gonna lie, cause I kept looking for the long, so nothing really impressive here. Nothing impressive at all. But yeah, I'm up, baby. I played the breakout, and we kept tapping it. You know how I feel about when you keep beating at something, you keep beating at something, and notice this right here, the higher lows. Momentum was increasing, and we kept shopping at the top. Momentum kept increasing at the lows. So you eventually get away from coming back towards the lows. And then when you go across your top here, I don't want to cut through anything. You're coming back into your top too much. And so then I'm like, yeah, it's gonna break up. And I played a strategy for the break to the upside because we kept coming back to the top too much. We were no longer engaging with the lows. That's a strong hint. Plus we were over, we were overextended a bit there. It's really weakness. No, you can't make the market turn around just because it's overextended. I mean, look at some of the altcoins that are really overextended. They're not turning around, but yeah, played that breakout, and there we go. And then we started to put in some sort of a consolidation to the downside, which you start to look for price action to break up. It could have also broken down, but we came through here and we wiped out some shorts right here. As we were getting that 4 hour bounce to the upside here. This is what I was looking at. Also here on Bitcoin was this. See the structure right here? You see that? You see how we got that bullish divergence down there at that low? And then you see this wedging structure right here for that breakup. Because the only thing we weren't doing at that point was getting above 50. When that changed, that was it. Boom. When that changed, boom. Because all back through here, you don't get above your mean, but you're wedging. You're consolidating. You're consolidating. You're consolidating. And boom, you get above there, and price just yep. You see that? You see that? You get above there. That was it. You get above there, boom. That was it. That was it, baby. You see it again on the 4 hour time frame right here. See that? So pretty. So pretty. Boom. So I played that. I played that. You can't you see all that bullish divergence down there on the low right there? All of that bullish divergence down here? Yeah. Why look for? Yeah, support. We were talking about this. We're at support. We're at support. We're at our 2021 highs. I was saying that on somebody else's channel, like, hey, hey, check out those 2021 highs. And they were like, we barely hanging on to that. Barely hanging on to it. Do you see this? And you talking about barely hanging on to it. Do you see this? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Because this is this is what I'm seeing. Like, are you seeing that? Are we seeing the same thing? Beautiful, beautiful. And it could be just like this. It could be just like how we tap the top and then we drop, tap the top and then we drop, tap the low and then we go, tap the low and then we go, tap the low and then we go. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. So I want to avoid being overly bullish. This is the second scenario right here. So we got more of a it's not a channel formation right here. But that's these two lows right here. We've covered this right here also. that there, and then we spotted this little piece right here from the highs here in 2024, where we put in at I'm just gonna call it consolidation. This pattern, like I said, it could be a megaphone pattern right here. You can look at it like that, and then when you, of course, put it on the line chart, it still looks like a megaphone right here. It's on the monthly time frame, it looks like a falling wedge, or I mean, a flag, but you can just say the flag situation right here. So we got that trend line down through here. So you got these crosshairs right in here for Bitcoin also. So that's what we have right here. We got these crosshairs right here. So yeah, yeah, was pretty decent. It looks pretty decent in my opinion. It looks pretty decent. What else was there that I was gonna say here on this Bitcoin chart? What was it? What was it? I don't know. But okay, so check this out here on the daily right here. So you know that we had this. It's it's not a bear flag. It's not. It's too long. It's way longer than what the pole would be. It's not a bear flag. It doesn't mean that it's not a bearish formation, but it's not a bear flag. And I was listening to somebody and they were bragging. They were like, "Huh, I told you this was a bear flag." The fact that it broke down from the low doesn't make it a bear flag. Like the argument is not whether or not, or the debate. The debate is not whether it's going to break down. The debate is it a bear flag? And that's two totally different conversations. Structurally, yeah. Structurally, yes, this could break down, but structurally, it's not a bear flag. It's not it doesn't match the terminology for the bear flag at all. Um, but we did break down from it. And when you connect your lows here to your two highs, so these are your two touch points right here. This is your overshoot. And then you put your extension on where price action would return to. It returns right here. That's your one to one of this pattern right here. That's a common target area. So one to one of this pattern right here. And that's simple. You want to do that. It's a negative one. Or depending on where you draw it from. If you draw it from the top, then it would be a two. But my two, you can see where my two comes in right there. So I use this all the time when I'm looking at clean ranges like this, whether they're sideways, whether they're diagonal. I always do this right here. When you see me do my mother bars, I project I project targets by doing it like this. And this is another clean example of where price action could potentially return to, making it a one-to-one target right here. And that's what you get. So even if you don't do it like that, and you take, let's go with this, and you take a high to a low, I think that that's pretty clean. I don't want to overshoot on it. Try to get it as good as I can. Yep. Like that, you come to where you get the breakdown from, which is here, and that's what you get. And of course, this golden pocket right here with the 786, you know what that is if you follow this stream. It's your fib extension. If I'm looking at a final wave to the downside, this is what I typically look for. A golden pocket retracement for the most part. Sometimes it could be a 786, sometimes it can be a one to one, but typically I'm looking at the golden pocket extension to the downside, and that's what we tapped also. So if you're looking at that, put it here on a weekly chart. That's this right here. And the reason why I did it this way, now I have it the other way as well, but the reason why I did it this way is because my initial assessment of this as an Elliott wave was that this was our wave 4, and this was our wave 5 right here. So then I was like, "Okay, if I'm gonna do an extension, then maybe I'll just look at it from here and just say an additional 4, 5 right here, an additional 4, 5 right here." And so that gives me this calculation for extending this move right here up, back to the downside, back here. Now this is the one that if I'm totally wrong, and, this is actually our 4 right here. This is our basic 4, not 4, 5, 4, 5, but this is our 4, and then this is 5. Then I'll be looking down here, which, puts us close to this target right here, and I actually used this one right here. So I used this low right here on the monthly, as you saw me just do. I used this low right here and this high right here. So essentially, I'm looking at, you see this red candle right here? Essentially, I'm looking at this candle right here and projecting this one out right here. And that gives you all of this cushioning in here. So it's something to think about. Something to think about, um, for Bitcoin, because we don't know. We don't know. We don't know, and if you need to draw this out on your chart, of course, this is drawn like so, and I'm just gonna use this tool right here to show you. So it's that high to this low, back to this high, and then that gives you this projection right here for this fib extension right here. Checkmate. No, 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 don't checkmate that. Don't delete that. All right. So that's where we're at here on Bitcoin. Correcting into Monday morning. Let me put this back here on my daily here. And again, this one, that high to this low to here gives you this golden pocket 786 retracement here for Bitcoin. And again, the channel for this drop. And if you need to extend it, if you need to extend this one more time, um, let's put on a -2. So I'm just going to do a -2 right here, 2 right here, and that puts us down. That would be another a secondary one-to-one there for Bitcoin. I'm gonna turn that one off. I got it locked in now, so I can look back at it if I need to there. Um, yeah, that does it. Yeah, that does that. Now, I looked at um I looked at what it would look like if, and again, I this isn't a bear flag. This is not a bear flag. That's not a bear flag. Doesn't mean it's not a bearish formation, but it's not a bear flag. But if you wanted to project this like it was a bear flag, you don't have to really move anything except for this top line right here. So from the high to the low of that's the pole. This is supposed to be the pole right here from there to here. You just take this right here up to here, and then that projects you down into this fib zone right in here. So that measures your high to your low for your pole. And then when you measure that out, this is exactly it right here. So you don't have to try to draw a line and then try to fit the line in here somewhere. That's it. That's it. If you believe that this is a bear flag, then that's your projection. That's your projection if you believe it's a bear flag. All right. I guess we don't have any questions on that, so I'm just gonna move on. Back over here, we came back into the golden pocket 786 here, after we did get this big push up. I was entertaining the idea that this could have possibly come up here to this golden pocket right here. We didn't reach there. We ended up reaching here. I did take a short position as well, so I just wanna say that also. I did take a short, and I just got stopped out. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. Um Yeah, I just got stopped out of the short position. I didn't take any profits on the short. I actually just had the short there just in case, um, so you can see, uh yeah. I moved the entry, to break even, but I was holding a short position, because of that situation right there. I was holding a short position, but I've been stopped out of that. Over here, they just stopped me out. They just stopped me out because I was in it before I started the stream, and they just stopped me out in here. So I got stopped out of that short just now. I'm not going to re-enter, on the short. I've already taken profits from the long position. I added to that short position. So that's why the short position actually shows my entry up a little bit because I added to, um, the Bitcoin long position. So I actually entered earlier than that. Trying to see if I can. Yeah, I entered earlier than what I showed you initially, but I took some profit. I took some partial profits. So I entered initially, average price was 60,868, 60,868.7, was my, initial, loan entry. So it was right before we actually, pushed for that breakout, but, I added to it on this drop right here. I added to it. No, no, no. Yeah, yep. No, no, no. I added to it on this drop right here. You should see how close it came to almost stopping me out of that long position when we got this drop right here, because I added to it on this drop right here. And then, we ended up getting this bit of a retracement. I'm not even paying attention to it because I'm like, I'm good. If it comes back down, I'm gonna look the longer again because I know that we're around support. But it came within hairs, like maybe $10 or something like that is stopping me out of that long trade right there. But I was saved by the bell. I was saved by the bell. How about that? How about that? Now this has changed now, so you can see when I actually drew this at the time yesterday, what I was looking at. Um, it doesn't hold that and then push up here, but it didn't do that. That's fine. Just stopped out at that golden pocket 786 there. I have played with Zcash over the weekend. I played with Zcash and I played with Hyperliquid. Um, so still holding on to this Zcash long. I really don't have anything left in this trade at all. I don't have anything left in this Zcash trade at all. So me talking about what I'm holding on to sounds a little crazy. I'm thinking that this is a wave four for Zcash. That's why I played it. So I'm thinking that this is a wave four. And when I analyzed the cash chart on Friday, because that's when I entered into this trade, I was telling you that I was going to take a Zcash long on Friday, and I waited. I was patiently waiting, is what I told you, but I was going to end up taking a long on Zcash, and let's see. This is where I'm at right now on that Zcash loan right here. Um, and I've taken profit so many times. Like when I say there's really nothing in here, there's really nothing for me to talk about with this, honey. I might as well just start all the way back over right now with this Zcash play. But I'm thinking that this is a way for. So I was looking for us to get into our bearish territory, which is going to be the 382 50% field retracement, and then you have the ascending trend line right here where we got this breakdown from. Uh, right here where we got it the breakdown from this momentum line right here. We broke that. We're sniffing back around that along with the 50% and 382, which is typically the bearish play for a wave four. If I'm looking at this properly, and this is going to be the case where this is possibly a come on, possibly come on, come on, come on. One, two, three, four, four. Oh, and let me fix this. Then into what I'd be looking for, which is gonna be, which would be something like this. Now, hopefully, this is not the case. Hopefully, it's not the case, but that it could be. Hopefully, it's not the case, but it could be because there is a need to actually hold in here, and I put in a zone in here, right here. Um, this is the sticky zone right here. This is an urgent zone right here that if we do take out this load, then Zach would be in some trouble. It would be in some trouble. It really would be. Now, the 200 has been a good level. This is why I took my Zcash long at the last time when we was getting as we were getting this move to the upside here, was at the $200 mark. That's why I took my long at, and I didn't finish it out all the way to the wave 5. I shared with you that I actually closed it out during the wave, um, 4. I closed it out, and then it got the little final leg to the upside. But, yeah, 200 has been it's been a nice bounce level, but if we were to do this right here, then we're breaking, critical like structurally, it's bad for Zach, down below this point right here. Because once it does that, let's put this on the daily time frame. Once it does that, you can see what we're taking out. Will be this low right here. So on Friday, we analyzed and we knew that we hit um, we hit our weekly level, and then we also had the this momentum line right here. And there's another one down below here with this zone right here. Like I said, the 200. It's been a nice little area. That's where I got long at the last time was right in here, and yeah, but this would be the extension move right here. This would be the extension move back here to this top side right here, possibly like 167. But we'd be taking out this low in here for Zcash. So it's good to see that it's holding up. It's good to see that it's holding up. But again, this might be wave four. And I would need to see it chopping here a little bit more on this daily time frame. Like it could bing bong around in here a lot more. You'll know it's not if price pushes back into here. If price pushes back into this low, then you'll know it's not that. Um, but yeah, here's where we are. Here's where we are. So I had just taken some more profit out of this. You can see the rising structure that we're putting in right here also for Zcash. All right, we'll put this back on a 1 hour. So the rising structure that we're putting in right here. Bullish if we can get a bounce right in here around 372 to 347. Discount would be right here and actually coming back into this state of emergency right here without taking out this low. That's 326 to 285 right there, and then, of course, the extension move down here, which you can just do what I did to draw that out right here for in case this is a 4, and then this is a 5 right here, coming down to there for Zcash, but been in the Zcash long. I've also been playing Hyperliquid, uh, and I think I may have gotten no, I'm still in it. I'm still in it. I'm barely up right now. I took a couple of trades on Hyperliquid. One of them I did lose. I did lose, and it was this move right here. So I think I actually got liquidated on that one. I did. I got liquidated on this one right here. I did not, I did not put my stop in. That's just full transparency. I did not put my stop in on this. I went to this weekend gig that I've been doing, and while I was doing that, um I got stopped out. I got not stopped out. I got liquidated. I got liquidated on this move right here. So that was what it was, and that's all on me because I was irresponsible there. It wasn't a big loss, but still, I gave back some gains from where I was playing the range over here, and I gave all that back, and so I've still been playing it. I prepped for this breakout right here last night. I took that. I got a little bit I scratched off a little bit of, profits on it, set my stop loss for break even. I got stopped out. Then I re-entered again. So I'm close to this being hit, very close to this being hit right now. Um, I thought I was gonna get stopped out on that candle right there. I really did. So, uh uh, very close to getting stopped out, but I did play this several times over the weekend, and I made some profit, and this is the one time where I gave it all back, and then I started making it again through here, and then this is my second attempt, in here on this breakout play, and may get stopped out on this one. I don't know if I wanna re-enter again on Hyperliquid or not. I still think, that Hyperliquid looks, rather well. Like, it's hard to look at it 'cause we know that on the weekly time frame, it we broke momentum on the weekly time frame, but hype is gonna go back up again. Looking at the weekly time frame, hype is gonna push back up again. I think that this could be a larger, um, impulsive move on the higher time frame, and hype is gonna break, back above this high. That's my thoughts. And that's why I've been trying to catch along on it. Like, it looks trashy when you zoom out to the higher time frame, but the narrative can be completely different, um, also. So, this is what broke us out right here. This could have been possible that this was a leading diagonal, but we're just getting started. I know, what's old boy name? Michael Hay what's his name? Arthur Hayes. I call him Michael Hayes. Got Michael Saylor, now you about to have Michael Hayes. Leave the Michaels alone, okay? Leave the Michaels alone. For Arthur Hayes sold, and that's fine. You still have inflows. You still have a ton of inflows into the ETF here for hype. And this candle right here looks pretty nasty. This outside bar right here looks pretty nasty on Hyperliquid. But this could have been a leading diagonal right here, and this is structurally just really getting started for more massive gains to the upside. So keeping that in mind here with Hyperliquid. I'm understanding how wrong I could be just looking at that candle and everything, but and then you can see the breakout right here as well. So you can see it's what Bitcoin looks like right now. Oh man, let me pop this sucker open right here so you can see how you wedged right through here, and then boom, got that push out right there. So this is coming from another time frame. It's just kind of in the way right there. Sorry for let me hide my drawings for a second. Hide my drawings for a second. But yeah, you can see that right there. You can see the structure right in here, and up in the way she goes. So pull it back right here. Yeah, I mean it still looks very enticing to me. Very enticing to me. Um, But we did see that little breakdown. Now let me put it on the monthly time frame. Yeah, you ain't got nothing on the monthly time frame, so let me forget about it. Forget about that. So yeah, I think this is going much, much higher in my opinion. If not, I also added before I just had this one single trend line across here. On the other chart that I have, I do have the lows mapped out, but it's at a different angle in here. I channeled it like this. So I channeled it this time just in case, it does a Bitcoin and wants to come all the way back down here. And that's completely wrong. And it wants to come all the way back down here. So be it. So be it. I still say that this thing is gonna come back up here and break above that high, in the yeah, next few weeks, the next few months. Like, it may not even take that long, to be honest with you. It may not even take that long. Let me do this. Let me stop that. Where's that line at? The line in here. Is it 15 minute? I got a line. Let me make sure this isn't what's getting in my way on the other time frame. Let me see if that was what was popping up. I was on this weekly. Yeah, it was that trend line right there that was popping up on that 15 minute. But we shall see. We shall see. Michael. No offense. No offense, Michael. When I say stay away from them Michaels, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Stay away from them dang on Michaels. Not this Michael, not Michael Marbury, okay? But it's some Michaels you need to stay away from for sure. Some Michaels you need to stay away from for sure. Again, this is what I was playing this breakout. I did it the first time, and like I said, now it's coming back. Likely could stop me out on this little inverse right there, and the structure I was looking for us to break out of. Yeah, this could just be a back test. I don't know right now. It could just be a back test. I really hate for it to be a mean reversion and then it does break down. Not too far. But yeah, I've been playing these three little three little zones right here. Also, these three little zones right here. You haven't actually tapped this one right here. I've been playing these three little zones right here, and we're holding up above this one now. Uh, at 59 or 61. 61. So 61.254 here for hyperliquid. Let me do it like this. You can see how we started the expansion back in here. It's been really rough with this one. I'm not gonna lie, it's been really rough as I'm looking for. Let me take that away. Let me get rid of that too. This is the 382 50% retracement level. I like this. I like this. And then we did this inverse inside of the 38250. You know how much I love the 38250. If you getting a sell off and you managing to bounce away from your 38250, use bullish. Use bullish. And we created that inverse right here at this point. It was over the weekend, so take it with a grain of salt. Um, And so I was seeing if I could actually count this as something as I'm looking for it to come back into here and see if we're gonna reject off of this 38250. So, this 38250 right here is the one I can actually let me just hide this. That's the extension right there, but this 38250 to the upside right here, that's drawn from that high. Yeah, from that high Ooh, 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 no. Ooh, I gotta fix this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You see what I've done to myself? Not even paying not look, I told you I played this is what happened to me while I was at work that day. So I hadn't even fixed the fib. And I'm over here just jumping back in and, playing around, jumping back in. I hadn't even fixed the fib. Look at me. I'm over here making big mistakes. I would have TP'd if I'd have actually been paying attention. I'm like, we're not there yet. I'm not taking any profit. If you come back down, I'm just gonna jump. I'm not even paying attention to that. So we hit the 382 and rejected off of the freaking 302. I'm sitting here about to tell you, waiting on it to get here, and I hadn't even fixed the freaking fib from this low over here. Because this one right here got me, and I forgot about adjusting it. Dang. All right. I'm glad I caught that. I can assure you that this one is correct though. This one is correct. But dang, I missed that. I missed that because I was looking for this recovery back into this 382 50% retracement, hoping that this right here will actually push up a little bit more. But dang, I missed that. 382 rejection. I don't like that. Now I see it. I can delete this note. It was just for me to know I was crossing. I put the alarm on there, but I just want if I look at it, sometimes I forget what I'm you see how I forgot that I needed to adjust this fib right here. And let me put the levels in. I mean, you can see that I'm using the 38250 right here, but I'll just put that in here. I usually don't put it in here because I don't yeah, it doesn't look even. See those you know you know I have OCD about lines, about trend lines. About things being even, correct, and that bothers me, so I usually take off the levels, but that's the 382 that we came into when we seeing that little rejection here on, Hyperliquid. Dang, 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 dang. I missed that. Dang, alright, now I know. Now I know, so either we can hold this low right here at 61,254. I mean, we've wicked it a few times, the wick is fine. I'm hoping that we can hold this zone though, these lows down here and continue to push up a little bit higher, maybe percent retracement, that would be nice too. Um, I would like to see this play out, but given the weekly chart, I don't know that we'll do that, and that's fine. If it could it have been 3 waves down? Could it have been an ABC? Possible. I wanna catch it if it is, which is why I've been playing around with it all weekend long. So hopefully that was the case. It's hard to say looking at that weekly, I know that, but hopefully that was the case, and see what we starting. See if we're starting something right here off of Hyperliquid. Those V's, I know on the V's, 'cause I told you I was gonna take a long on those V's, and I did enter that long. Let me tell you, I actually got stopped out. I moved my stop on this price at the time when I was analyzing the V's in here. Um, it was this reclaim right here. I was looking at it from this time frame right here, and we had reclaimed back above this trend line right here, which I thought was bullish. And so I entered into the long. You can see it did come down here and take out that low. So I got stopped out before it got down here. I did get stopped out on it. I didn't attempt with it again. Like I said, usually if I don't like something and I go to take a long on it, like it eventually did play out that little pump in here. Um, I wasn't expecting for it to go higher than that, not all the way up here because 'cause I'm bearish on it, and I told you if I'm bearish on something and then I change my narrative to take along something like that, usually it'll drop. The V's are still holding up in here. It's not one of my favorite alts in the market. It is still holding up, to here though. quite bearish on it. Uniswap. Liquidity pools on Uniswap are making bank right now. Mhm. Volume coming up. Michael, which one are you looking at? Which coin are you looking at? Speaking of Uniswap, I haven't looked at Uniswap in a long time. Uniswap was doing good at one point. Pretty sure, like everything else, it's you know. Let's see if I actually have that. Let's see Uni. Let me see what that looks like. Missed a little long opportunity in here on Uni. Right here, a little scalp long or something like that. Mm, pretty barish. It's pretty barish. Not getting above 50. When you see it get above when your RSI gets above the 60 right here, might do you some good. Now it didn't do you any good over here. It didn't do you any good right here, but this could. It's doing whatever Bitcoin is doing right now. Just not at the same rate of Bitcoin. Let's see what that means. That was awful. That was awful. Choppy chop 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 chop. Let me see this. Yeah, little divs. Little bear divs in here. Uni. I have multiple pools on Uniswap for different pairs. Okay, ETH USDT, ETH BTC. Oh, speaking of Ethereum, thank you, Michael. Speaking of Ethereum, let me put this back on. Reset here. Put it back on 1 hour. Uh, speaking of Ethereum, Ethereum, Bitcoin. Let me go over here to the Bitcoin chart so I can look at it. I'm gonna go over here to weekly time frame over here. Pop on good old Ethereum. Ethereum. Bam bam. Bam bam. Remember this targets right here? Posted November of last year. First week of November, I gave a roadmap on Ethereum as to where I thought price action might hit based on, historical price action where it had saw some reactions at here, and I said I went ahead and closed it out right here, and then we bounced away right here. Like I bought it, and then I went ahead and closed it out. I said, you know what, I'm just gonna wait because if it comes down, then it would it could do this right here. So you got the ascending trend line right here. We actually closed below this. That's the first close we got below it. So you can see right here, we never closed below this connection point right here, and we closed below it this weekend. So Sunday closed right here below it, but that was our VWAP tap right there. I don't know what to think about it right now because we did actually close below this trend line right here. Which I mean, look, we did it to the upside right here. If you were connecting, if you skip like this right here is a little different. That's different. Not as much interaction as you got down here, but VWAP nonetheless. This is your all time VWAP right here. All time VWAP. Whether I put it on Coinbase, whether I put on the index chart, this is your all time VWAP. This is what Ethereum has responded to on its macro lows has been this VWAP right here. I'm gonna show you on your index chart, which gives you a little bit more data than your Coinbase chart is going to give you, but it's the same thing here nonetheless. And like I said, this has been our roadmap since November of last year. Um, was it November? I might have posted it before November. No, it was simply November. So this was back in November right here. Everything still looks the same, right in here. And then I told you I went in and I had added VWAP to it, in another post that I did. Did I put that in this post? No, I didn't put it in this one right here. It was a it's another post where I tell you I go in and I add the VWAP, to it. Uh, oh, here it is, right here. So on the 30th of November, I go back in and I add this VWAP in here because I just wanted to find a little bit more confluence in here for for Ethereum. And then you can see that I was highlighting that VWAP could be the retracement area in here also. So I was like, I'm just gonna give you a little update in here. The only change that I made was gonna be for that VWAP for broader context in here. And so that's what I ended up doing, is throwing that VWAP in here. And that's where we are right now. So we have respected the levels that I've drawn out in here, which has been nice. You can see we got a bounce off of the low in here, which is why I told you I had bought one time right here, then I bought another time right here, and then I didn't profit off of that bounce at all because I closed it out on the bottom side of the green box right here. I closed it out thinking, I'll wait. I actually wasn't um, prepared for Ethereum on that move because I've been so focused on Bitcoin, but I don't know what to make of it right now because we did get that close below that trend line right there. So a little something different here for Ethereum. Just slightly. You do got bullish divergence here on Ethereum as well. And Ethereum, the other thing about Ethereum too is Ethereum is never taken out a macro low ever, 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 ever has Ethereum come back and taken out a macro low. Does it do it this time? That's the question. Does it do it this time, or was that the low? So many people swapping. I need to be banking like you, Michael. I need I need to be banking like you. I like that. I like the knowledge that you're spitting out over here. I like that. But yeah, I'm wondering about this right here. But like I said, Ethereum has never taken out a macro low. It's never taken out a macro low. I'm hoping that nothing has changed here with Ethereum. And that was the low. I would love for that to be it. I considered buying yesterday. I didn't. I had not. I looked at it over the weekend. By the time I realized we had already did. Now what day was this? This was the week from the first, but this was last week. Let me put it on a daily chart. What day did we actually tap it? We tapped it on. I'm about to say, I know darn well. Okay, so it looks like we had actually came into. We didn't actually tap it into that Saturday, but it was close enough to be like, you know what, we hit it. I really had not paid attention to it too much. I know we did look at it again on Friday. We looked at Ethereum and Solana, and yeah, that would be nice if that was the low. I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a rush. Because we're getting close to saying, that we invalidate that bullish divergence that we had down here too. Yeah, it looked different the other day. Let me look at it on a daily. Yeah, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind. I don't know what to make of it because we did get that close below that. If we didn't get that, then we'd be sitting pretty here on Ethereum, so, I gotta look at some other stuff now, and I haven't gone through to kinda figure out, like, what it would be, but like I say, Ethereum's never taken out a low. If you wanted this VWAP right here also, you can do it from the Coinbase chart. Like I said, it just takes you back to the very beginning. It's the at the very beginning is where that VWAP gets dropped at, the very beginning of this chart, or like I said, you can go to your index chart, and it's the same thing, the very beginning, the very first candle to ever touch, and then that's that VWAP. That's why this VWAP is so important. It's that VWAP. This is the all-time of all time VWAP. The everything, volume weighted average price is here. Below here, I'm a buyer for sure. If it were to come below here, I'm buying. That's your VWAP. That's your volume weighted average price. Below there is cheap. It's cheap. This is where it actually crossed below it right there. Did it do it any other time? Uh, besides besides that little bit right there. Yeah, it has crossed it before, but here in these last few like 2022, that was it. 2025, that was it. And then here now. So yeah, we'll see. Do with that information what you will, but we'll see. That's what that is for Ethereum. Ethereum, and then, of course, Solana. Um, those were the only 2 that I really went in on, back in November, was these 2. So this is basically what we wanna see for, like, Solana, I felt I've been saying, I got a bear case in here for Solana, where it could come down here to about 47 to 30. I wasn't or 24, however you wanna put it, but I felt like it could come down into here. This is the only thing I could see that it would need to do. It did close below here, if it's not gonna come in here, but this has been my base case that Solana would get down into here, uh, potentially, potentially. So, my fear was below 120, it's in trouble. Below 120 and we dropped below the 120 because the 120 was right here with this ascending trend line right here. I knew once this was gone right here, and we had already had this measure move and all of this good stuff right here on it. But I knew then, holding some different coins long term, then it's a no go now. Just set the monthly. Imma take a look at that, Michael. I really appreciate that. I like that. Not something I ever considered, but it's definitely, like to make passive income, that's for sure. Passive income is the way to go. Let me see what we got in here. So, Solana. Hold on, that's weird. I can't even find my Solana, stuff that I posted. It's fine, but, it has to be there somewhere. It can't just disappear on me. But yeah, once we lost 120, I could tell that Solana was gonna be in trouble. Um, because you really didn't have a lot of places for soul to go. We then ended up looking at this right here as a narrative. We also did something with a trend line down through here, which it actually broke through it a little bit. It left that little wick down here, but we were looking at this, and now it's like Solana. The only thing Solana can do in this case is reclaim back above this value area low. This little section over here where you had this mother bar right here, where it took out the liquidity, but it closed below it instead. It can reclaim this, then maybe it has a chance to avoid this situation right here. But it had seemed like ever since we broke up there that that would be a scary thing for it to to happen. And so of course, last minute decision to take some profit right in here, so I didn't round trip the bag all the way back down here and sold, but a little bit too late because I didn't. Again, this is the all time of all time VWAP right here for Soul. So that was another thing too. And we have been rejecting back down below this VWAP. And that measure move right there was the one that prompted me to take a look at the VWAP here, and then seeing that it was here at the uh, macro VWAP in here. It didn't happen like that. It just didn't happen like that. So yeah, scary thoughts. Scary thought for Solana. So be careful if you are in Seoul. The only other thing I know, I mean, is that low. So when I'm looking at it on this time frame, um, for Seoul, like I said, that's the case. It will be right in here about 50. Let me turn the width on. Oh, yeah, that was almost hit that. So it's this candle wick here high, and this close right here. So that body close right there, that body close right there. So if it did tap down into here, that'd be $42.79 cents right here. 42.79 for this right here. And then of course on that top side, that's 58.38, which it came really close. What was our low right here? $60. So it came pretty close to tapping that. If you're into Solana, you want to watch that. Like this like that might do you right there. That might do you some good right there. Um, what is this? What is this? Yeah, I mean that's the 786. Let's add I don't have it in here. I can see that. Let's add that in here. Let's actually extend this one out so we can CC. All right. That's a 786. That's a pretty deep retracement right there. Also, um, for Solana, what did it do the last time on the monthly chart? Let me just see. Go from this way. Well, I can already tell it went way below that. So no sense in me pulling that. Oof. No sense in me pulling that. Oh yeah, it went. Oof. Oof. I don't know. Scary thought though. Perhaps. Perhaps. This is getting too scary. So it is below because we were just hanging on to that low there on the RSI. We were just kind of hanging on to that one right there. Now we've broken below it. My interest for Solana will come back when we cross back above it. Like, that's something that I'm gonna have to see. I front ran I kept trying to front run it on Bitcoin. I'm not gonna do that this time because on the Bitcoin daily, I kept trying to front run it. We finally made our way below it, and we finally reclaimed above it over the weekend as we're getting this little pump up right now. I'm not gonna front run it on Solana. If I am gonna do anything with Solana, it'll be after Solana momentum turns back up above 41, let's say 42. After Solana's momentum turns back up above 42, then it got me. I'm back in the game with it. But right now it is in relative weakness at 39.45. Once it turns back up above that, then I'll be looking back at it for entries. But down here, I mean, it could continue to roll over a lot more. Last time I picked it up in this zone right here, 20 something bucks. I picked it up right in here. Around to I'm close to round tripping the remainder of my bag for Solana. Um, maybe I should look at getting into something earlier. As far as leverage goes, though, it'd have to reclaim back above 40, 42. Once it does that, then I consider leverage. I could buy spot, but spot is gonna have to wait until we hit. If we were to tap here, then I could start picking up on spot. But right now, uh-uh. I don't know. I don't know. Bitcoin is gonna be a major factor for something like Solana. And then, like I said, I kept front running. This supposed to be a weekly chart. What pain is this monthly chart? Yeah, it's my monthly chart. Um, is this supposed to be my monthly chart? Oh, I know what the problem is. Okay. Is that all right? So I don't know. I don't know right now. But Solana does need to get back above that little wick over here. It needs to get back above that wick right there. And after that close below it, nah, uh, after that close below it, I don't know. But right here on the daily time frame, I kept trying to front run this part right here. So I kept trying to front run this, even though I could see that we weren't showing any like I love to play the swing fail patterns, and I did not allow myself to get there because I was arrogant. I was arrogant, and arrogance cost me some money too. I was arrogant, and then we finally got the SFP right here, down here at that $60,000 low. We got that swing failure pattern. Um, And now we're facing the resistance right here. If we get above here, we do start to break here. Then again, I think 71,000 somewhere back around these lows. Let me see. No, it's not those lows. It's not those lows. I have to see it from the this time frame over here. It's these lows in here. So somewhere back around 71,000 where we got this breakdown right here. I think that that's a very possible target, reasonable target also for Bitcoin that will also put it back somewhere around about this back test of this breakdown right here. So we could see Bitcoin back test this breakdown right here. Whatever you want to call this structurally, I'm just going to call it a channel. In this channel formation, we can see a back test there. Let me lock that down. We could see a back test of that here for Bitcoin, especially if it breaks above here. Momentum is sniffing around there. RSI positive right now. Also, when we get above 65, let's say 65,605, we'll really start to see a flipping in here. That brings us out of some of the weakness that we're in right now. Um, for Bitcoin, 65,600. We could start to round out this bottom in here. So with that, what that's gonna look like, I can show you right here. So it's gonna be right here. It could be a place if you're long, it could be a good TP that puts you back into these lows right here for a good TP. And then if we're successful, we're consolidating a little bit more for a higher push up. Then I am looking again for a back test of the breakdown from this channel right here. But I'm just gonna call it 71,000 right now. So that's gonna it's gonna look a lot like the week that like the 4-hour time frame did. So, actually, let me just use this chart right here instead, 'cause I can see I got some stuff turned off over there. So, like I said, when we got that wick here, this is where we got the most volume at for Bitcoin. We're talking about that. You see that volume spike right there? That's where institutional money stepped in at, right here. And then from here, price action starts to put in the bullish divergence. It institutional players stepped in right here. We started to put in a pennant right here. So we broke down below that first, and then we start to bottom, round out to come back up, almost getting back into here. But yeah, that's your biggest spike in volume right there. And again, that's where you start to put in your bullish divergence right through here. So right through here, right underneath here. Uh, you start to see the bullish divergence continuing through here until we finally tried it right here, failed. And then, like I said, a lot of people probably looked at this wedging structure right here, called it another bear pennant, and Bitcoin took you out right there. Took you out right there. If you weren't thinking, I'm at support, I want to short support. I want to short support. We broke through all the rest of the support, so I can understand your bias. But yeah. It's trying to push, really pushing, really pushing. You start to break out above here, possibly, like, volume is still declining through here, because it was the weekend, but you would start to break out if you can push through here. Will start to break out. You can see it made some attempt in here at one point, failed, um, miserably. Let's see what you got here. Yeah, the math ain't mathing right there. Math ain't mathing right there, so I don't know. Right now, I'm gonna wait before I take another short. I wanna be away, so I'm gonna wait. I just figured it was a weekend. They may have some chance of trying to send it back down since we were pushing up, back down to support, and I didn't wanna continue to miss out. Continue to miss out. Small little possible inverse here on this 4-hour time frame. You can see this, crazy scoop. Oh, you don't see it right there. Um, let's see if we got it anywhere else. Did I hit refresh on something? I might have hit refresh on something. I don't have it here. But anyway, hadn't whipped this baby out in a long time. You see that massive squeeze through here. That's how I knew we were gonna break to the upside too. Like, I mean, on support, number 1, but when you squeeze in like this was a major squeeze right here. This is where you look for price action to go into, the bull's favor slightly, for a short period of time. You really don't know how much of it is gonna actually go in your favor, but, to look for the long right here on this massive squeeze right here, it just made sense. It made a lot of sense. And then, of course, we got it. We got it on that breakout right there. We got it to the upside. So, bullish strength is slowly creeping up in here. It's slowly creeping up in here. Uh, but bears are still running the show. Obviously, bears are still running the show. Um, but bullish strength is coming up. We're neutral. Bullish strength is coming up though. Been holding pretty good over here. Been doing pretty well in here. At some sort of a flag right here. Could this be a breakout? This could be a breakout right here. Let's see it better from this time frame right here because it was already trying to push. It tried it again over here, but it's trying to get this breakout right here or Bollinger expansion. We'll see. We'll see if it actually gets the follow through. But it started. It's just tapping around the top. But this. Hmm. Let's see. I don't know. 1 hour. Don't really have a squeeze on the 1 hour though. I don't think we can be successful right here. I don't think we can be successful right here. So it's a short. If we do, it will be a short. If I do see us turning back down right here, that's going to be a short. Another short entry I'm going to take. This is coming back to that. Let me see what this is now. So golden pocket 786 right here. Earlier, it was this. No, it was this right here. It's this right here. Yesterday for me. So I mean, we actually don't need another box. I just got so many fibs in here. Um, this didn't violate this situation over here. So let me change it. I'm gonna drop it right here. Yeah, I do want to do this box instead because I don't try to get close. 'Cause although I prefer the, 50% 3 at 2 Fibonacci retracement, if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we 5 up into here, we will be taking out this high right here, but if not, this is very extended sideways right here anyways. It's too much happening, it's way too much happening, so I understand how wrong that can be, how very, very wrong that can be, but just in case, I drop that fib off there. Um why would it happen to that? If it does get above here, that's something that I would look for, something like this, either just back into this 5 right here, 0.65 or this 786 up here. But right now, this might hold it down. So if it does start to break back down below this high in here, it's worth considering the short. As long as it's still above it, I'm not gonna bother with it. Just look for it to continue up. We got through this, so we can drop that now. I think I can drop this. Yeah, I can drop that. One less line here on the chart. Mm, and just let her go. Let her go, 'cause it's trying to break out. Mm, bring that out a little bit. Like I said, if it roll back down, I will enter on a short. I'm not gonna take it while it's still trying to push up though. So be on the lookout for a possible short entry. I'm not bearish. I'm not bearish in the least bit. Even after all of that, I'm just still not bearish on Bitcoin. SPY, I didn't get into this yet, but SPY, um, there's nothing I can really do with SPY. This stuff already be happening. By the time I get a chance to come over and take a look at the SPY chart, this stuff is already happening. If for anybody that's here that um, trade SPY or whatever, yeah, every time, every morning, the situation is already in play. What I was watching for, over the weekend was to see if we came back down. This was gonna be a first target right here, maybe swiping this low right here, from this move up that we got in here. Maybe swiping that because we were expanding here on SPY. Clear expansion. You can see it on the 1 hour, you can see it on the 4 hour. The only time frame that we were not expanding on was the daily time frame. And so for the daily time frame, I think for the daily, the expansion would have started like right through here, I believe, if it was gonna get one. But here, we put on the Bollinger, you can see how we were expanding here. That was the first breakdown, back test, golden pocket 786 for this move down right here. So you really had nothing to do in here. And then you can see how things change once you get above your standard deviation 1, because you have been rolling over just like Bitcoin in between your standard 1 and 2. And then you start to bottom out as you start to round out here at the top. You start to bottom out a little bit as you coming into some sort of local support in here. Let me hide that for just a second. Let me draw the fib on here. Really wanted to look at support resistance levels in here. Because yeah, I'm glad I didn't look at this like that, because that doesn't really, yeah, it does. I was looking for maybe a swipe right there. Seemed more reasonable to me, or swipe right there, but we didn't get it. And then, like I said, you look at your 4 hour time frame, you're gonna see that on the 4 hour time frame expansion as well. And then, of course, you come in this morning and it's printing a little gap to the upside in here on this move. Little gap to the upside on this move right here. Maybe back. Well, that's gonna do something different for it if it gets above here. If it gets above here, it's gonna do something different for it. I watch that. No. Maybe this prior gap in here could act as resistance. The prior, hold on, let me not even do the whole box. Let me just do that. Perhaps that could act as some sort of resistance. And then the other one is going to be right here. It's slightly. So this could be a resistance area right here. If not, then I say it's back to good grace, and then we'd be looking for it to push back up. But no expansion on the daily time frame. Daily expansion would have come in below. Okay, so below here, we'd be looking for a daily expansion below 728, but no expansion right now. But below this zone right here, where we have that next gap coming in at, could lead to the daily time frame looking to expand. Still very possible. Still very possible. But we come in this morning. Oh, I see Bitcoin still pushing. We come in this morning and yeah, they wanna market opens and they wanna continue with the descent because the VIX is looking mad crazy. Or at least it was before this little bounce in here. But it's looking mad crazy. Let's see if we finna expand here on Bitcoin. The VIX is looking mad crazy. But yeah, be cautious on with SPY because it does below I just rather move with that, to be honest with you. Below 728, you possibly got a daily expansion, and we'll see how explosive it wants to get. Um, its sense of urgency comes in right here. That's far down, so I'm not trying to be that bearish. I'm really not trying to be that bearish. Let's take a look at the weekly here. We did the bearish momentum piece right here. We're talking about the fact that we were holding around our momentum break to the upside, which was this right here, when something else had actually let me do it like that. There was something else. That's the relative strength high right there. So that's the point where you'd be looking for it to really break down. It's already below it, and you can see it too, right here. So that matches with what's happening in this situation right here. I think it was it's that. Yep, it is that one. So the relative strength high was right here for the swing back down below. And if it keeps pushing, then that's what we got for it to look into. But right now we did not close below it, it doesn't seem. Or maybe we did ever so slightly close below that relative strength to the upside right there. This hasn't updated yet. But this has been on the chart. It hasn't updated yet because the market hasn't opened. But nonetheless, if it's really going to roll down, you can see how we still green, very green through here. We're getting there. It would start with that daily coming below that 728. That's gonna heat it up in here for that rollover. That would heat it up in here for that cool off. Hopefully, it don't do something like that. How it did this right here, because it walked the line. It walked the line through here before it finally got that spillover and back into green graces. But that's what you got here. Um, yep. See how we broke right back up above that momentum right there. Choo, 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 choo. but, not bad, not bad this morning. Looking pretty decent in here. Not bad at all for SPY. This is, NVIDIA looking like garbage. It's VIX. VIX was at support also though. Double bottom on VIX. And then we saw when we got the jobs report. We got the jobs report. We saw how the dollar spiked. And my word exactly was, yeah, the tech getting ready to dump-a-roni. Tech was getting ready to dump-a-roni. So it's supposed to be one of my headlines, you know, how much money we wiped out here, in NAS and S&P 500, the whole Broadcom situation, that's been a headliner with it. We talked about that as well. I don't really I'm not giving it all that credit, but n I'm not the expert. The experts are saying that's part of the reason why, and of course, we know the jobs number. When we got the jobs report, um, yeah, it came in hot, and, we saw the DXY, spike heavily, and then, of course, risk off here on your semiconductor, uh, tech section in here. So, that's that. Of course, we continue with this, I don't know who's firing at who first. Everybody's firing at each other, um, Strait of Hormuz. The oil really is consolidating. It is really just sideways, just sideways. That's all oil has been is sideways. Like we can talk about the little pops here and there, but for the most part, it's just been sideways. It's just that's it. It's just been a sideways market in oil, no real direction. It's up, it's down. I'm not even putting that much weight on oil prices affecting the rest of the market. Not right now because it's sideways. If it wasn't sideways, then yeah, but it's not pumping. Like you're getting these little bounces here and there, these corrections up, corrections down, corrections up, corrections down, and this tight little consolidation, and that's all you're getting out of oil. So not a lot of weight for me, as far as oil is concerned. Gold on the other hand, I did take a look at gold because I know we were saying the last time was yep, right here. So was looking forward to let me take that away. Take that away. I was looking to see if we couldn't come down here and hit here. So that's why I'm saying 4,200 in here, for gold. It looked a lot like we were gonna get here before I started streaming. But it looked a lot more like it was gonna get here. I'll put it over here on this chart. Because we did get this breakdown below this little channel right here. And I was thinking maybe we can get down here to test this trend line right here. So I'm saying 4,200. That's why you see 4,200 as a headliner for me. Looking forward to come back into this ascending trend line through here, um, through here. So this one through here. Looking for a back test on that. Not getting that. Not right now. We're not getting it. So um, daily to me doesn't look like it's quite there, but it is. We're coming back into this. I like the little inside range right here we got. It just took liquidity off of the top side right here on the support hour. It just swiped that liquidity in the support area right here. I know analysts were watching for it to see if it couldn't hold the support of the top side right here. I saw that headline, but we didn't hold that. We didn't hold that for this zone right here. We didn't hold it. So um, we're back at it. We're back at it. And it looks like we had just swiped. Yeah, we did. just swipe that liquidity, change this to a base. Let's drop down a little bit lower. Let's go with a 1 hour. And not enough information. Let's go here. Yeah, a little swipe up there. That mother bar. It's gonna break out. Then mm, I don't really care for it. I don't care for it. I'm gonna wait for the daily to do something different. To be honest with you, I got my little trend line in here that I'm watching here for the daily time frame. I'm gonna take that off. Uh, get rid of that. May want to keep going, but for me, when I look at this daily, when I look at this daily, I got an alert set right here. I want to see momentum come up. Right now, momentum is shedding down. So either it can come down here and it can tap into this 70, this 42,000 right in here. If it doesn't want to do that, then I'm still gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for momentum to come up. Right now, it's not. It's just still shedding down. You got the you got bullish divs in here, um, right through here. I mean, what more are you gonna have? You're gonna have this because of the aggressive move to the upside, so you're gonna get that. So this doesn't surprise me at all that we're seeing the bullish divergence. You're gonna get that. It's not against this pivot. So in a situation like this where you don't actually have the bullish divergence right in here, a lot of times sometimes I would want to wait and see this actually gets tapped on momentum. So a swing failure off of here would be good. Does it happen? I don't know. We'd be really close to it happening. Be really close to it happening. If we were to do an SFP, I would take that SFP trade all day, every day. I wouldn't have to wait on this right here to happen. But that would be the next thing I would look for. Either SFP down here or a break in momentum to the upside before I enter into gold because money is rotating into the dollar right now. It's not going into gold. Bull flag on the 1 minute. I'm sorry I missed that, Michael. You say you think Ethereum about to make a bull flag on the 1 minute? Mm. Let's see, Bitcoin just got that rejection off of that 786. Um, oh, I'm missing the entry. I'm missing the entry. Um, dang, I'm missing the entry. That was supposed to have been the entry. And so if we break back down below here, then that's the entry. I'm gonna go ahead and take a small little entry here on Bitcoin. So, I'm gonna keep it conservative. Hasn't actually closed, got about 2 minutes, but I'm gonna keep it conservative, just like I had it before, very conservative. Um, it don't look bad when I zoom out on the 1 hour. It don't look bad. I'm gonna take it anyway. It looks like it's gonna hold up on the 1 hour, but things can change when the market open. Plus, we also hit the top side of that, so just a small entry here for me. I just entered into it. We also hit that band, on the 4 hour. We also hit that band right there. But 1 hour still looks pretty decent. 4 hour, he's trying to break out. It's not being successful. Probably won't get it just yet. I don't know what's gonna happen when market opens, so I'm just keeping it conservative on this entry, to the downside. Put my stop loss in here already, already. I like the candle. I like the fact that that was the 786. I like that we back tested here where we broke down. We did a back test and we're rejecting. I like that. Just see how it goes. That's it. See how it goes. Where could I get to? I'm gonna set it on this candle because that's where it is. Set it on that candle right there. Move it over. Um, well, actually, we swiped that little liquidity right there too. I'm not gonna lie, my stop is exactly just slightly like this. It's like this. It's not. It's very tight to this wick right here. Very tight because I don't trust it. I don't trust what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna set it like that for that low. That's a 3 to 1 risk to reward right there. Not shabby. Not shabby at all. If we get that. Not shabby at all. It is a bear div, correct? Yep. It is a bear div. It is a bear div. Right here. It is a bear div. So like that. That break. So let's get it, Bitcoin. Send it down. Send it down. Send it back down just a little bit. Don't take me out. I will be aiming for no. My stop was over here. My stop is just slightly just below here. Just slightly because it almost got me right there. So this is fine. This is this low seems healthy though, so I would this low seems healthy on the 1 hour. That's the only thing. It seems healthy on the 1 hour for that low right there. It seemed healthy on the 1 hour too the first time, but I did again, I took this short. It looks the setup looks exactly like this right here, the same as this, um, which I didn't take any of the profits off of this. I told you that. I didn't take any of the profits off of this. I showed you where I got stopped out coming in the stream. Uh, it was just a hedge against the long in here. Um, so I didn't scalp anything off of that. But the setup is exactly the same because right here we put in the bearish divergence right here. You can see that we put in that bear div right there, and then we got the breakdown. So I'm playing it just like that. We got the breakdown right here. So plan it just like that. This first one failed, so that gives me a little bit more confidence on this one. I'm gonna move. I'm not gonna move that. I'm gonna leave that one to this. Leave that like this. Let's see what we need to break. But again, it's hard for me to be bearish at support. But I should have been a little bit more bearish on that move. The entire move to the downside, and I wasn't. So gold. Um, yeah, mine. Gold. Back to trying to hold this support through here. Prior resistance flipped into support right there. Gold is back to trying to hold it. My ideal place to take a long entry would be right here. I can see that if price was to get here, you'd like to get an SFP off of this low. You'd be really extending here on gold too. But you know, like I said, money is actually going into the dollar. The dollar right now. Speaking of the dollar, I looked back. Oh, let me take a look at USDT. You see, I changed it. I had the laughing emoji in here. And I said, I hope I don't have to change this into a crying face. I cried. It was changed. We're looking at all the similarities in here, right? We're looking at the bear div in here, which was this, the bear div in here, the bear div in here. The fact that it did not take out that high, it came so close to doing it, and this time it actually took it out. So I got the crying face in here right now. The trend line, we still need to see us break this trend line in here on the weekly time frame, and just like we did over here. Could that be on the horizon? I don't know. I don't know. But we got a cry face in here right now. We got a cry face in here right now. So ugh, we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. It can happen. It can happen. But if not, then we're gonna just break through here. Then I'll be looking up here. But um, yeah, there we go with USDT dominance. Let me put this back on USDT dominant for the daily. So just like Bitcoin right here, it could. This would just be the next tap right here. I would like to see this roll over and break down. You can see we did hit our key area of resistance in here on our daily. This is our last one. Remember, this is our last one right here because once we get past this, we go into price discovery in here for USD. I think we're going to price discovery here for USDT dominant. Let me see. Yep, we're going to price discovery for USDT dominant. So we why we look so different? Um you see how different we look? Um, no. We look the same. I don't. Okay, I'm sorry. I was a little bit confused there. I was just a little bit confused there. But yeah, we hit our resistance pretty clean. Past here, we go into discovery for USDT dominant. So we don't want that. I want to see this momentum breakdown. I want to see that. I want to see it break down. Which would be the opposite for Bitcoin. We're looking to see if we can't get the breakup. You got a negative RSI on USDT dominance, got a positive RSI on Bitcoin, but you also have this momentum line to here. We could see one more little bounce in here, and then that breakdown. But we'll see what the market wants to do once we open. This would be a support zone in here for them. Last time I was using this midpoint in here on this range, but let me pull this out a little bit. Since I'm here doing, I just got this the last one. I promise you. All right. Little tweeze top, got some liquidity there. Little tweeze the bottom on Bitcoin, got some liquidity there. And of course, here we go with the shenanigans on Bitcoin. Yeah, see? Here we go with the shenanigans on Bitcoin. The new 1 hour candle just opened. Moment of silence. A moment of silence. The new 1 hour candle opened. That's more like it. That's more like it. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice, Bitcoin. We didn't have any data this morning. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, Campbell's. That's right. Campbell's. We got the Campbell's earning. Put that little notation in here. We do have the Campbell's earning pre-market. I gotta check and see where we're at on that. That we when we discussed it on Friday, we were talking about the fact that we were looking for it to come in for earnings per share to come in a bit lower. Um, so not expecting for it to get a good EPS and what the market is going to be looking for. So that's included in here in this little notation in here, what the market is going to be looking for. Are people shopping value brands? So your little knockoff store brands and stuff like that that you have. Are people shopping that? Or are they actually paying for that pretty can label? Because it's the same. You just got that can label. I don't care about the can label. I shop that whether we're in a recession or not. It's the same. If I flip it over and everything is the same, I'm buying the cheaper version of it. I don't need the pretty label. I don't need the name drops. I don't need it. I don't need to say I got Campbell's on my shelf and not the Kroger brand. I'm sorry. I don't need all that. But that's what they're gonna be looking at, what are they buying? Are they buying the generic brands? Are they buying the Campbell's? Honey, give me the generic brand. If the ingredients is the same, I'm not eating the label. Okay. That's not what I'm putting in my mouth. I am not eating the label on the can. I could care less. Are you eating the label? So I wish somebody would come to my house and talk about generic brand labels in my pantry. Get out of here. Don't care. Don't care. All right, let me take a look at Campbell's in here. Let me see what Campbell's look like. See who cares about the. Did I not plug Campbell's in here? I could have sworn that I plugged that chart in here. All right. Well, what do you know? What do you know? People are buying the Campbell's label. Come on, Bitcoin, pay us. Pay us. People are buying the Campbell's label because they got a pop. Look at it. Look at it. Bottom line climbs in Q3. Three key sales fall. Heard by continued weak demand for snacks. Okay, all of that, and it still got a little pop over here. Who cares? I don't care. What's the story? Like, what's really the story? I have to look at the report, and right now, I'm not gonna have the time to do it. It's already 8 o'clock. I'm late getting around to this stuff right here. Right now, Bitcoin was a little bit too juicy, but yeah, I mean, okay, people stocking their shelves with Campbell. I don't care. When they make the label edible and the ingredients are different on the label, then I'll buy Campbell's. Until then, it's generic brand all day for me. Recession or no recession. It's a nice little pop here for Campbell. Let me see what's on the 4 hour. Okay. Rising structure in here. Okay. Well, if you're doing it, you do it. You doing it, you do it. Um, Looks like we had a bottoming structure in here already coming in for Campbell's. Bottoming structure with bullish divergence in here. Did we cover this? Do I have levels in here? I don't have anything in here. What chart was I on when I did this? Or did I not map Campbell's out? It might have been a situation where when we talked about it on Friday, I had not mapped Campbell's out. And I'm back here again, failing you, like just really failing you. How is this? This is not what a goat would do. That's for sure. But bottoming structure right here already. Right here. It already had the bottoming structure right here. Uh, so I mean, you already got the bottoming structure right here. Yeah, I already had some sort of bottoming structure with bullish divergence in here. Yeah. So I mean, earnings can change everything. It can change the situation, but the charts was already showing something, something. Maybe it would have back test, maybe, and then don't know, don't know. But way to go, Campbell. Let's see if I can't find a position off of this later today. See if it's worth it. It's a little bit too far removed from me, but I'm gonna see if it's worth it. Let me see if there was anything else I needed to do in here. Nope, nothing really. The only other notes I had in here, what we were talking about before, like during the dot-com bubble, which was through 2000 2002, we talked about how tech and internet were the sectors that were hit the hardest, and then capital, if it wasn't going into the dollar, they were putting it into consumer staples, utilities, and healthcare. So we were talking about the fact that we really need to start looking at some of those stocks in that sector, those three sectors right there. I still haven't, not really. I know that Lily is a little bit too expensive for me. Maybe Novo. I do like Novo. Um, Novo Nordisk. I do like Novo. So that's something to look back at. I think retail is gonna start back popping again. We were talking about Home Depot stock. Talking about taking an entry on Home Depot stock as well. That was something that was discussed here. The thing with Home Depot right now might be a little bit too late. I know the last thing I was looking at on Home Depot was price action coming back into the ascending trend line, and it's up a little bit right now. We came pretty close in here to that trend line, which is this one right here, right here. I think we might be too late on the whole Home Depot thing if you didn't take it, waiting on what I was talking about, which I can be very strict sometime about where I want my entry to be. Uh, and so I might miss a trade. I might miss an investment because of that. Because I can be very like you see me being very frugal right now with gold. Like gold gonna have to hit that trend line. It hits that, then I'm interested. You got to do something. You got to, yeah. And so might be, yeah. I wanted that. I wanted that. That was our 1-to-1 here, but I wanted that. And then I think this is what I was looking at on the retracement. And I was looking at it from a weekly um, time frame. So I'm thinking that price can get back up to here for number one. I was watching it here on the weekly. I should have just did it. I should have just did it, but I didn't. I was watching the momentum in here, like, okay, we're getting close. It'll be absolutely there if we touch on that trend line, we'll be all the way there. So I can miss out on something because look, I'm looking for this swing right here. I'm looking for this swing to happen in here. Hang on, let me put this on 24. Make sure. Yep. 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 Nope. 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 Here. I'm looking for this swing to happen in here before I take the entry. I'm watching it on the weekly time frame, wanting it to tap this trend line. Might have missed it. Just might have missed it. Um, but if it's gonna get worse, the other thing too, if it's not gonna be here, it could come lower. I think that's another reason why I was just being, really careful in here with Home Depot. Um, I feel like I got time. It just looks different when I'm zoomed out, but I feel like I got time. I think home sales is back on a rise right now. Real estate, let me put it like that. Not gonna say home sales, but real estate might be might be looking to climb back up. Might be. See, we getting that pop back up there on Bitcoin. Should I take something out of here? See, I'm about to miss taking these gains again on Bitcoin. We'll move my stop loss to break even. If I don't take anything out, I just get stopped out at break even again, and that'd be fine. I just get stopped out at break even. I think that's gonna do it. It's 8 o'clock. Um, there was nothing else that I needed to cover. Nope, 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 nope. I think I hit all the talking points that I was supposed to cover today. Um, yeah, I think I hit them all. Yep. Now it's just about whether or not Bitcoin daily chart can continue to maintain. Probably come back in for this weekend stuff. If we do come back in for the weekend stuff, a good place for us to hold is going to be somewhere around about um, 59,850. 59,850 to the downside would be a good place for us to hold. We would not take out the low that we put in. We put it to you like that. So maintaining the low that we did. What day was that? Was that Friday? Yeah, maintaining the low from Friday would be the big thing. I would like to stay above the previous day high, but can't guarantee that. Could just come back down here towards these lows in here. So somewhere down into here, without taking out this low right here would be great. That would be great. That'd be good for you if you're in a short for it to get down to there again from here. This is just a starter kit. So starter kit right here. If we don't come lower. Um, I appreciate you. You say here's the bounce. Yeah, here's the bounce. Oh yeah, that would if we were to take this out. I mean, for me, it would be this low right here. Depends on what time frame you're on. A nice little SFP down here, this low, probably could get you in there. This is some good liquidity right here off of this pump right here. Whatever happened in here, but I think, just looking at the higher time frame, let's see, we just hit the mean on the 1 hour time frame. We hit the mean on the 1 hour time frame. Do we have bearish divergence on the? Yeah, we did have the bear days on the 1 hour also. Look at that. Don't you do it, Biddy. Got the little swing fail down here right now. A little swing fail right now on this 15 minute. But we do have you can see the bare divs right through here, which doesn't mean anything. We could be setting up on a pattern in here. We could be a pattern that could still break to the upside. So I always just kind of try to watch that. I'm not I don't think that we typically look for rising formations to break down and falling formations to break up, but sometimes it's something different. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's something different. But it's gonna have to come back this way for me to see that. Right now, I don't see it. Um, yeah, right now I'm not seeing it. 'Cause we do have the bear divs through here. From here to here, we got that bear div, and then coming back up, and then you see this little head and shoulder right here. See if we don't keep it going. Maybe a back test on that trend line that we broke down below on the 15-minute time frame. See if we can't keep it going. And again, don't want to see this low get taken out in here. Don't want to see that. If I connect, come that low right there. Drop this trend line right here now. Maybe that could be a bounce away. We'll see. Um, some good old rejection there. And I'm saying I want to see us hold right in here. If we were to come back down, if we were to come down a lot deeper, I would like to see us hold right in here. I don't want to see us falling below this because if we're doing that, then we could start expanding again. Don't want that. Um, Most certainly don't want that. Don't want that. So, all right. I will see you guys tomorrow. See what's gonna be next on the agenda. Let me check back in on spot one more good time. One more good time. Look. Oh, let me say this too. Look. Look. All I can say again is, uh-oh. Uh-oh. That ain't what you want. You don't wanna see me. You don't wanna see me. All I can say again is my heart was right when it said, you hit resistance on 5. You do not need to do this long. And when I tell you I closed it out, I closed it out, and it was the right move to make. Absolutely. Absolutely the right move to make. Now that was on my call, my my option, my option play here. When I got into my profit, well, actually not. I was already in the profit, but when I hit my strike, I got out. When I got slightly above my strike, I just went ahead and got out. I said, "Yep, yep, you don't," because I told y'all the day before that I was like, I should have just closed that thing out. I should have closed that. I should have closed that. And then lucky for me, I got what I was looking for, and it was like, get out, get out. I got out. I gave the update on X, and yeah, I'm gonna revisit though. I am going to revisit, revisit once market opens. Once market opens. But again, I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you in the morning. Thank you. Love you. Goodbye.